Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah Yomi is continuing chapter 5 of Beitzah Mishnah Gimel. Today we get back to some techum issues. Recall from Eruvin, back a few Masechtot ago, a techum is the limit in which we remain on Shabbat. We call it 2,000 amot from your home in every direction, and the sages gave also the corners, so it's not just a circle, it's the square around the circle with a 2,000 amma radius. And we learned in Eruvin a person could move his makom shvisa, his place of residence for techum purposes, by placing food or being somewhere at the start of Shabbat or Yom Tov. So here Mishnah Gimel, behema v'hakelim, animals or items, clothing or vessels, kiragli abaylim. They can go on Shabbat and Yom Tov in the same place the person can go. So Reuven can take his hat with him throughout his entire techum, but he can't go to the very edge of his techum and then hand it to Shimon, who will then take it beyond that original techum of the real owner. So the Mishnah explains a case, hamoser behemto livno oleroe. Someone gives over his animal to take it out to pasture on Yom Tov, and gives it to his son or to the shepherd. Harei elu k'raglei abaylim. The animal could only go where the original actual owner could go. If he gave it to the shepherd before Yom Tov, it would be within the shepherd's techum. And the Gemara brings a case where if there's only one shepherd for the village and everyone gives him the animals, then they know that the animal, they intend for the animal to have the techum of the shepherd even before Yom Tov. And the Mishnah brings another scenario. Kalim miyochidim le'echad min ha'achin shebabayit. There are a lot of boys in the house, and one of them has a suit or a black hat. So it has to go by his techum if it's specifically his. She'ein miyuchadin, if it's the jump rope that belongs to the entire family. Harei elu kemakom sheholchim. It can only go the place they all can go. So if one brother made an eruv 1,000 amot to the east and one 1,000 amot to the west, then this jump rope, whatever item that they share, can only go where both of them could go. Mishnah Dalet continues this theme. Hashoel kli mechavero me'erev Yom Tov. Somebody borrows a kli, clothing, whatever it is, erev Yom Tov, before Shkia, before the holiday begins. Kiragli hashoel. So now it has the same techum, can go like the legs of the borrower, wherever the borrower can go. Yom Tov kiragli hamashil. If they didn't borrow it until after Shkia, after Yom Tov began, it can only go where the actual original owner could go. Now this leads to the next interesting case in the Mishnah. Ha'isha sheshala mechaverta tavlin umayim umelach leisota. So one woman borrowed from her friend spices or water or salt to put into her dough. So the flour itself, or the vegetables, or the meat, or whatever the ikr food was, belongs to woman A, but woman B is lending her, the spices and the water and the salt. So it really gets the status of both of them. Harei elu kirogle shtehen. So this cooked food or this dough that she's prepared has to be in that overlapping area of both their techumin. So if one made a techum up north and one down south, you might have very little overlap in that case. So they'd have to be particular if they're borrowing on Yom Tov itself about where this person can go, because that's where their belongings can go as well. Rabbi Yehuda poter b'mayim. Rabbi Yehuda doesn't worry about the water if they merely borrowed water and nothing else. Mipnei she'ein behen mamash. Because water has no substance. Now, he doesn't mean no actual physical molecular substance. What Rabbi Yehuda means is the water, as you cook it or you knead it into the dough, gets absorbed into the dough or absorbed into the porridge or the food or the vegetable dish, and you don't actually see it in the final product. Yashar kochachem zeh gesund.